What's up, Diggletdreams? Mathras here with week 10, if I'm not mistaken, of the National Dex Battle League. This week we're up against HeavyMetal Pokeman, aka Eric, and the Denver Rapidash. As you can see, he's got a pretty scary looking team. He's got that Tyranitar Excadrill combo, as well as the Latias, Vileplume, Configurgus, and Gardevoir. So lots of threats, as well as some bulky threats as well. Well, I should say he's got offensive threats and bulky threats. I shouldn't just say threats to mean offensive threats. He's just got threats, that's what I'm going to say. He's got threats. But I got some threats of my own, and why don't we jump on into this battle. I decided to lead with my Rubber Ducky. I was just kind of trying to threaten whatever he led with. I figured he'd try to lead with either the Excadrill or the Tyranitar, and my Rotom is a pretty good, works pretty well versus those. And if you decide to lead with anything else, I can Volt Switch out of there. And what I didn't expect though was the Mold Breaker Excadrill. I was expecting Sand Rush with the Tyranitar, so kind of caught me off guard there with the Mold Breaker. I also, this first turn, I didn't expect him to stay in. I didn't think that Earthquake would do the damage that it did. So I thought he would fear the Will-O-Wisp or Hydro Pump. So we get a bad first turn. I'm not sure if that could matter. Actually, I didn't do the calcs for that. But I lose my Rotom turn 1, unfortunately, as I'm going to go into my Scotty, expecting the Choice Scarf, and he does decide to switch out there. So I am going to get this Tailwind up right now and go into my Drapion to pretty much take the Poison type hit from this thing, and then I can kind of threaten it out. Actually, kind of predict the switch there and go for the Swords Dance, knowing that if his Vileplume stayed in, it wouldn't really do that much to me, and I'd be able to get the Swords Dance up and probably do a lot of damage to it. And if he does decide to go into something else, Drapion puts in a lot of offensive pressure versus his team. I do have Earthquake. I do have the Tailwind up, so I do outspeed his whole team. So it just felt to me like Swords Dance was the best play there. And it was going to pay off for me as I'm able to take out this Configurgus with a knockoff. He's going to hit me with the Rocky Helmet, but it's not that big a deal as it's now completely gone. So I'd definitely say it's worth it. But the Tailwind is going to peter out there as he's going to go into his Excadrill. I'm just going to make the switch into my Whimsicott, knowing I can take that Earthquake really well. And I do. And I'm pretty sure he's Scarfed now, so I am going to go for that Tailwind again, get that up, and once again, I'm going to make the switch into my Drapion, knowing that this is probably a pretty safe switch, as he does make the double into his, what's this thing called? Gardevoir. But I do have the Tailwind up, so I'm actually faster than this thing. I'm able to hit him with a Poison Jab and KO him. So he's definitely probably an offensive variant of Gardevoir there. Bulky variant probably would have taken that. And unfortunately for my opponent, he does make an over prediction here, trying to get the Whimsicott. I don't know why I went for Poison Jab over Iron Head, because Poison Jab doesn't hit anything on my team, and Iron Head is super effective as well. Probably would have KO'd my Whimsicott. I don't know. It's definitely good coverage move to have for fairies in general. I don't know. Poison Jab is a weird one. It's good to have for grass types, but because Whimsicott is also a fairy type, he does already have super effective stab, so it was a weird play. But my Drapion is able to take it. I thought I would outspeed with the Tailwind. That's why I stayed in. But unfortunately, he doesn't. He outspeeds. So I went for the Earthquake. I get him a good amount of damage off on this thing, and he is locked in the Poison Jab, so he is forced to switch out there into his Tyranitar, as I do go for the knockoff there, trying to catch something. But the Tyranitar does come in, and the knockoff's not going to do that much to that thing at all. I guess I didn't predict the Tyranitar to come in because I had gone for the Earthquake, but I don't know. It was a pretty good play, because knockoff, I hit everything, as opposed to Earthquake not hitting the Latias. So I am forced to switch out here. I go to my Mew. I don't really know why. I kind of expected this thing to be defensive of some kind. I have Defog, so I guess maybe I thought Stealth Rock Defog, but then I'm forced to switch out there into my Whimsicott. It actually does work out for me pretty well, as I'm able to resist the dark type move. And then I can get up the Tailwind one more time, as he is going to take me down with the Iron Head plus sand damage. So really cool sets. I did not expect Dragon Dance T-Tar to come. I was expecting it to be like a bulky Tyranitar to get up the sand for the Excadrill. But hey, I'm not hating. It actually kind of worked out for me. I was able to take out my Whimsicott there. But with the Tailwind up, I'm able to bring out my Heracross, go for the Mega Evolution, and pretty much just get a kill right here. Close combat, take this thing out no problem. And I'm actually able to, because that turn I hadn't been Mega Evolved yet, I'm actually able to use the slightly higher speed stat of regular Heracross over the lowered Mega Heracross speed stat, so that is part of why I outsped the Tyranitar, even though it was a +1. And he is then able to go into his Vileplume. I don't really want to take a hit from this thing, so I decided to just go into my Drapion again. The Toxic, I'm actually immune to it, so it works out for me very well. I'm able to hit this thing with a knockoff, do almost half, and then he's going to go for the Sludge Bomb. I'm able to live that, and then hit him with another Poison Jab. My Tailwind is gone, but I don't really need it anymore. The Sludge Bomb is going to finish me off this time. Does get a higher roll that time, and is able to finish me off. I'm going to just come in with my Flygon and just go for the U-turn. If you decide to save his thing there, and I actually get Effect Spore to sleep, which is pretty crazy. I was like, oh my god, did I just lose? So I go into my Mew as he brings in the Latias. At this point, I'm thinking the Latias and the Excadrill, these are two very scary offensive Pokemon. The Latias can potentially take on my Flygon, especially since it's asleep, as well as my Heracross with the Psyshock, potentially. And I don't really know what Mew is going to do to it. But combined with the Excadrill is actually looking like a very scary offensive team. But then he decides to go for the Healing Wish. I was kind of confused by this. I understand getting the Excadrill back to full health, but the Excadrill wasn't really as big a threat at this point, because I do have the Mega Heracross and the Mew and Flygon, which can all take hits from this thing. I thought the Latias was more a threat. I don't know, whatever Eric thought. You can definitely check out his channel. He has his own perspective, so you can see what he was thinking there. But my Mew is able to take up these Earthquakes very well, able to go for the Soft Boil and Ice Beam and slowly whittle this thing down. Crazy thing here, I actually get a critical hit and a freeze, which is really, really crazy hacks. But fortunately it doesn't end up mattering, as he is going to unthaw right here and finish off my Mew. At this point I was just kind of like, okay, I have Heracross in the back, why don't I just go into Flygon and see if it wakes up. I didn't forget that it had Mold Breaker. I just knew that I could take a hit, and I am able to take the hit. I am Scarf, so I do outspeed, and I wake up on the following turn and finish him off with an Earthquake. And I knew I had a Heracross in the back, so even if I didn't wake up there, I knew Heracross would be able to finish it up for me. So GG to Eric and the Denver Rapidash, the Boston Buizels, able to get a victory there in the final couple of weeks of the National Dex Battle League. We'll see how we shape up in the couple, I think there's only 2 or 3 weeks left. We'll see if we make it in playoffs. But guys, until then, leave a like, subscribe, and keep dreaming. Peace out.